Everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new setting spray from Charlotte Tilbury. I've had it for a couple of days now, so I kind of have some thoughts on it. And because I didn't want to do an entire video just about the setting spray, last week I filmed a video talking about the new Love collection, the new 3 lipsticks that Charlotte Tilbury introduced into her Matte Revolution. I think they're limited edition. I think the names are First Dance, Mrs. Kisses, and Wedding Bells, I believe. So I filmed that video last week and I just have not uploaded it yet. I thought I would combine both of these videos together. I'm gonna have to work some editing magic to make that happen, but thought maybe that might be a fun way to introduce both of these new products from Charlotte Tilbury, but not have to worry about doing 2 separate videos. So first we're gonna get into the setting spray. So I bought the mini size. It was kind of like a pre-launch type thing, and this was $20 for 34 milliliters, which was pretty expensive. So when I paid that much for, 34 mils, I was like, okay, if it's $20 for the travel size, how much is it going to be for the large one, Miss Charlotte? Surprisingly, it is $35 for 100 milliliters. It's roughly around like 3.4 or 3.3 ounces. So pretty decent priced for what I was expecting based on the travel size. But we're gonna get into the price comparisons of this compared to some of the others. It claims to make your makeup last 16 hours. I'm not gonna be able to put it to the test for 16 hours, but I'm gonna at least do at least 12 hours. New Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray weightlessly primes and sets for up to 16 hours for the perfect looking makeup day every day. It's delicately scented, which I will say it does have a slight fragrance to it, but not overwhelming at all. Very, very light. It's long-lasting, next-generation setting spray that is magical beauty amplifier inspired by the smoothing, pore blurring effects of the world-famous Airbrush makeup family. It's a high-performance formula that works in harmony with your complexion-enhancing foundation, concealer, bronzer, and powder to create a weightless veil of hydrating goodness and a flawless-looking finish, no melting, no fading, or no creasing. It is hydrating and fixing your everyday invisible shield to seal in your magic makeup look. The ultimate airbrush fix. We're gonna see how it works, and like I said, this is not the first day that I've worn it. This is the 3rd day that I've worn it. So I only put it on this side of the face. So on this side, I have no setting spray. I didn't put anything on it as far as spray. This is the side that has the setting spray. Now, as you guys know, I've recently fallen head over heels for the Hourglass Soft Focus Setting Spray. This one is a very soft mist, but it's not wet. It's a very interesting formula, like nothing I've ever had as far as setting spray goes. The way that it sprays, it's almost like a powder finish. It doesn't give you that wet feeling where I don't even feel like I have to use the fan to kind of dry it and set it in place. This definitely has a little bit more of that wet feeling. So when you're spraying it, you can get in a direct area if you're not careful. So I would definitely move it, a little bit away from your face. But let's go ahead and jump into the price comparisons of this in the full size compared to some of the other setting sprays that are out on the market. So the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray retails for $35 for 100 milliliters. That makes it 35 cents per milliliter. So the Hourglass Soft Focus Setting Spray, that retails for $48 for 120 milliliters. That makes it 40 cents per milliliter. So you're paying 5 cents more per milliliter with the Hourglass than you are the Charlotte Tilbury. The Urban Decay, it is $33 for 111 milliliters. That makes it 28 cents per milliliter. Now the Urban Decay one, I have to be careful with. This is the all-nighter. This one does lock and load your makeup. It does, but it has a very strong alcohol content in it. And I kind of feel feel like for me, it's almost like applying hairspray on my face. I just don't love the way that this feels, but it does make your makeup last. Like, I cannot deny the fact that this does make your makeup last. But I cannot use it very often because it does have a lot of alcohol. This Airbrush Falls Setting Spray does have alcohol, but it's the last ingredient. And you guys, at the end of the day, if it's one of the last ingredients, it's a very, very small amount. The Hourglass one is alcohol-free and fragrance-free. Let's talk about the MAC Fix Plus. That's a huge popular seller when it comes to setting spray. That retails for $28 for 100.55 milliliters. And that makes it 29 cents per milliliter. So it is, you know, 6 cents cheaper per milliliter than the Charlotte Tilbury. And then I wanted to compare it to the Glow recipe. I've really loved this Glow recipe. It's hydrating. So this one only gives me hydration. I wouldn't say it makes my makeup last any longer. All it does is just mist the face. I love the way it smells. It does have a stronger watermelon scent. So if you don't really like the scent of watermelons, then I wouldn't recommend it. But this has been one of my like really favorite hydrating setting sprays. This one retails for $28. It is only 75 milliliters. It is 37 cents per milliliter. This one is right in between the price of the Charlotte Tilbury and the Hourglass. This is 37 cents per milliliter and the Charlotte Tilbury is 35 and the Hourglass was 40 cents. So, you know, just so you guys can kind of understand how much this setting spray is from Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm curious about it. Now, this one is made in Germany and the Hourglass is made in Japan, for those of you guys that are curious of that. So let's go ahead and jump into me applying it. I'm going to do some check-ins. I will come back, give you guys my thoughts on it, and then we'll jump into the lipstick. So I'm just going to, like I said, I'm just going to kind of combine the two videos together just so that they're all together, and there you go. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into me applying this on my face, and I will see you guys all in my final thoughts. So I got up real early, got the day started early, just so that I could kind of put my makeup on early, so I could kind of do some check-ins throughout the day. My screen protector is cracked, so it is 9:07 in the morning. So we're gonna put this on. I think I'm gonna do like half of the face and then, you know, see how it goes. Now, this is not the first time that I've used this. I've actually used this for a couple of days now because I really wanted to kind of get to know the product, you know, before coming on camera and talking about it. I'm gonna spray it on this side of the face. Okay. Woo! I'm not seeing like a huge difference, to be honest. Now, when I use the Hourglass setting spray, it almost gives you, I don't know how to explain this, but it's kind of like a powder in a can type. Like, the way that it sprays on the skin, it doesn't give you a shine. It's definitely more of a soft type of spray where, you know, I think this one from Charlotte is probably a little bit more dewy. But I'm curious to see, you know, what the difference is, how it will look, and how it will last throughout the day. This is supposed to last for up to 16 hours, so I'm very curious. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off camera here, and I will be back later on this afternoon, and we'll go from there. So I will see you guys then. Okay, so I wanted to pop on camera really quick and let you guys know that I have been using this Charlotte Tilbury setting spray for, I would say, about a week now, and I actually really like it. I do feel like it makes my makeup last a little bit longer than a lot of the setting sprays that I use, and I don't get dewy from it. I do feel like it sets it in place, but I don't feel like it makes me extra dewy or anything like that. So if you have been thinking about getting this, I would recommend it if you like Charlotte Tilbury. It definitely has a little bit more of a fragrance to it than the one from Hourglass. The Hourglass one has a little bit more of a powdery type of texture to it. So depending on what you're looking for, but I do feel like this has been pretty effective. And you know, I was out on the 4th of July in the sun with hot, I was visiting my family and it was so hot. It was like, 98 degrees in dry weather, and I was gonna, ooh, it was so hot. I live in the mountains, so it's not nearly as hot where I live, and so I'm just not really used to that much heat. But I did feel like this did a really good job of keeping my foundation on and keeping my makeup intact. So if you are interested, I would definitely look into it because I'm kind of impressed with it. Now, the mini size is definitely not the way to go. I would definitely recommend getting the full size because you're going to get way more for your money. I use the Morphe setting spray, and I don't feel like the Morphe continuing setting spray it makes my foundation last any longer. Like, it doesn't give me any longevity, but it just kind of like melts all of my makeup together, and this I feel like does that, but also kind of locks it in place. Not as much as the Urban Decay All-Nighter, but like I said in the beginning, the All-Nighter is just way too tacky for me, and it's got so much alcohol in it that it just dries my skin out. So it's not something I can use on a regular basis. This I don't feel like dries my skin out at all. It's kind of refreshing in a way, but not like gooey or tacky or anything like that. So I'm kind of liking this. Like, on a scale from 1 to 5, I'm giving this like a 4.5. I really, really like it. So there you go. I wanted to pop on camera and just let you guys know I have been using it for a while and I am enjoying it. So today we're going to be swatching and trying on the 3 new lipsticks that Charlotte Tilbury just launched. They are a limited edition kind of wedding theme type of lipsticks. So I bought all 3 of them, and I have compared them to a lot of the Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks that I have in my collection. I will get into those comparisons later on in the video. Packaging is absolutely adorable. Like, I love this cute packaging. Like, I don't really want to throw it away because it's so pretty. There's that. And the lipsticks are in the normal Matte Revolution case. They are the Matte Revolution formula, which is my favorite matte lipstick formula. I do really love her matte lipstick formula. I feel like it stays on really good, and it still moisturizes the lips and kind of still gives you a little bit of that matte look, but with a little teeny bit of shine. Wedding Bells and Mrs. Kisses look very similar. I would say the only difference is Mrs. Kisses is a little bit lighter, just a little bit. I kind of wish that those shades were not so close. I mean, they're 3 limited edition shades, and I kind of was hoping for a little bit different. Like, they look so similar that when you put them on the lips, they're really not going to be that much different. The only difference is Mrs. Kisses has a peachy pink undertone, and Wedding Bells is a little bit more of a nude. So that's the difference. They're very, very similar, and I wouldn't recommend buying both of them. I would recommend buying the shade that works best for your skin tone. So if you're trying to decide which shade to get, decide based on a nude undertone or a peachy warm undertone. Wedding Bells is more of that nude pink. So it has that nude undertone, and then Mrs. Kisses has a little bit more of a peachy pink undertone. So I would pick based on that, but you probably don't need both shades. So let's go ahead and try them on so you guys can see what they look like on my skin tone. For reference, I am a medium with like a golden undertone. So first I'm going to apply Mrs. Kisses. So this is Mrs. Kisses. And you can see when I put it on my skin, because I have a warm undertone, it's definitely pulling that peach, but really beautiful lipstick. Like, the shade is just really, really pretty. Look at the little kisses that are stamped into the lipstick. Isn't that so cute? Okay, then I'm gonna put on Wedding Bells. Now, as you can see, Wedding Bells on me is a little bit lighter and a little bit more pink. Let's go ahead and put on First Dance. Now, First Dance is a little bit darker of the 3. This one is definitely more berry toned, as you can see on my skin tone. Looks really pretty though. I really like this shade as well. For me personally, Mrs. Kisses is my favorite of the three, but I do really like this shade. I think the shade's really pretty. Now that we have the try on out of the way, let's go ahead and put up the image of the swatches that I have. So as we all know, Charlotte Tilbury's lipsticks all look very similar. They all have a very pink base to them. Here on the screen is an image that I took of these three lipsticks next to some of the other lipsticks that I have from Charlotte Tilbury. First Dance is kind of similar to Walk of Shame. I would say the only difference is that First Dance is definitely more berry toned than Walk of Shame. Walk of Shame is a little bit more of a darker rosy tone to it. It does look very similar to Secret Selma. So personally, I feel like if you already have Secret Selma, you probably don't need First Dance. Now, Glowing Jen is from her Hot Lips 2 collection, and that is the kissing formula. It is not a Matte Revolution formula. For those of you that love the shade Glowing Jen in the kissing formula, I think you would really like this shade Wedding Bells because it does look very similar. The only differences between those two shades are the finish. Wedding Bells is the Matte Revolution formula and Glowing Jen is the kissing formula, which gives it a little bit of a shine. Those are the swatches. That's the try on. I will have them linked in the description box down below. Like I said, these are limited edition. Hard to say how long they will be available. I love her Matte Revolution formula, so this was definitely something that was kind of a no-brainer for me. I wanted to grab them. I do love her kissing formula as well, you know, depending on the finish and stuff. If you have a lot of Charlotte Tilbury in your collection, go through and swatch all of the Matte Revolution lipsticks that you have, and then kind of compare the shades to these new shades, because these new shades might be new, but they're very similar to a lot of the shades that she already has. It's kind of like there's nothing new here, if you feel what I'm saying. Like, these are pretty much the same tones, the same undertones of a lot of the lipsticks that she already has in her collection. So they're nothing different. They might be off a little bit. They might have a little bit of a different tone to them, but I guess you have to decide based on your collection, what you have. Are they different enough to spend the $38 on the lipstick? So I hope that this review and try on was helpful for you guys. Let us know in the comments down below if you guys bought these shades, if you're liking them, how you like them. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Love you. Bye.